All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's just about time for our first main event. Peoria, are you guys ready? GNC2 class coming up first. We're going to bring them out one at a time. They'll walk all the way up to the starting line, and we'll do the introductions as soon as they get out there. We got 18 fast riders, Chris Carr. Are you ready for this first main event?
I certainly am, with Ryan Wells on the pole here. Kids going for the clean sweep of Central Illinois this weekend. We'll see if he can make it happen.
All right, so we're just moments away from pushing them out. I believe all the bikes are staged up and ready to go. We got 18 of them. We started with 36 riders. We eliminated 4 right out of qualifying, and we eliminated the rest of them coming into this race. As soon as we get a chance, they're going to head out there. And don't forget, the next race coming up is August the 29th, the Don Tilley Memorial Charlotte Half Mile, Charlotte Motor Speedway. So that's where we go after this one. Looks like the bikes are just about ready to push out. I'm not sure what they're waiting on, Chris.
Well, I believe they're making sure they've got all the little spots that they put a little water down, make sure it's nice and consistent. So these guys, if they get going green here, we've got a good clean racetrack for them to race on.
Track is just about ready. We're going to bring them out here in just a second. So everybody, they're having some radio communication with the AMA Pro radio right now, so get that taken care of, and then they'll send out the riders in the way they're going to pick spots on the main event. Up till now, Chris, you can either pick outside or inside if you're the pole setter, but now you get your pick anywhere you want on the line.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to watch where these guys choose. You know, I've happened to notice kind of where most of the hole shots are going. Let's see if these guys pay attention to it. Going to watch their picks as they come up to the line. I don't really want to say anything and have any kind of influence here, but it's going to be fun to see where these guys decide. Like you said before, they had the choice inside or outside, and see if they decide one of them spots somewhere else is a better choice for them.
All right, so they're staged up and ready to go. A couple of riders haven't made it quite to staging yet, so we're going to bring them through one at a time. We'll have 3 rows of 6, the 18 fastest GNC2 riders coming up first. After this will be our 25-lap Grand National main event here at Thunder Valley, Peoria. I'm up here. I get the pleasure to sit with the 13-time winner here at the PMC, the Peoria Motorcycle Club, Chris Carr. What's it going to take to pull off a victory here in this GNC2 class?
Well, in any kind of racing, to get a clean racetrack, you got to get a clean start, get a good start. That's going to be the first and foremost. You can establish your rhythm quicker. If you find yourself mired back in the field a little bit, you saw what happened with Jared Mees in his heat race. Got off the line about 5th, although he had enough time to march down the leader, Dominic Calendris. You know, it takes a little time for you to work your way through the pack.
All right, so here we go, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to walk them out. We're going to do the starting introduction right now. They're going to come right between our beautiful trophy girls. Here they come on the pole, ladies and gentlemen, on the Fat Boys Racing Honda from Albion, New York. Our pole setter, 94B, flying Ryan Wells. That's Colby Carlisle pushing that bike out. He's chose not to race today, but he's looks like the crew chief, and there's Englehart, Mr. Englehart back there. He's the bike owner. Starting second from Warren, Oregon, the Parkinson Brothers Racing Honda, 67M, Dashin Davis Fisher. Starting third from West Bend, Wisconsin, the 3-4 Racing Honda, 32L, Jesse Janish. Starting fourth from Holly, New York, RLG Elder Trucking Honda, that's the 19B, that's Justin Jones. Starting fifth, the full-time road racer. He comes to us from Philpott, Kentucky. He's the only Suzuki in this main event, sponsored by Bell Helmets and Victory Circle Graphics. That's the 69C, Hayden Gillum. Last rider on the front row from Snohomish, Washington, on the Ride Motorsports, Vince and Denise Holt Honda, number 51M, Cole Fredrickson. Now we go back to row number 2, also coming to us from Snohomish, Washington, the Vince and Denise Holt. I messed up on the last one, that means, so we'll back up in just a second. The 20M, Jacob Lehman. And my apologies to the 51M, Cole Fredrickson. He is on the Ride Motorsports Honda. Now we go to the 30Z. He comes to us from Salinas, California, the Rod Lake Racing Honda. 30Z, that is Bronson Bauman. Starting ninth from Holly, Michigan, the low life performance. I had to get that right. Honda, the 20J, that is Ben Lau. From parts unknown on here, but I'm pretty sure he's from Abingdon, Illinois. He is on the Hardy Racing Honda, the 44P, Steven Sandoval. Starting 11th from Burlington, Iowa, the KM Trucking Incorporated Bone Cycle Honda, the 55L, Cole King. Starting 12th, last rider on the second row. He's from St. Louisville, Ohio. He's on the Englehart Research and Technology Honda, the 23F, Jeffrey Lowry. And now we go back to row number 3. This guy's had a rough day. He's still in the main event. He's starting first pick on the third row from Barrington, New Hampshire, the Roy Built Moose Racing Honda, 27U, Jameson Minor. Starting 14th from Australia on the Yamaha, the only Yamaha in the main event, the Clear Factory Comave Sierra Specialized Products 81P, Jace Castles. Starting 15th from Warrington, Pennsylvania, did it the hard way, coming through the semifinal. The only KTM in the main event from Bromley Brothers KTM 54A, Dan Bromley. Up next, the Horizon Award winner last year from Mansfield, Ohio, the UMD Automated Systems Honda 93F, Hunter Edwards. Starting 17th from Modesto, California, Pacific Coast and Pools, Rod Lake Racing Honda 23Z, James Monaco. And the final starter on row number 3 from Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, on the Honda from Michelin's Harley Davidson, the 69L Morgan Michler. How about it, Peoria? Let's put our hands together for all 18 riders in our GNC2 main event. It is time for main events. Chris Carr, that's one of my favorite parts of this job, talking about all the riders in the main. I'm excited. I got goosebumps. Are you ready to go?
Yes, I am, and you do it so well, getting these guys hyped up, getting them amped, getting them ready to go 16 laps here at the Peoria TT.
All right, so we got the riders lined up out there, 3 rows of 6. I believe we're going to go trackside and get it where with Danny here in just a second. Let's go, Danny, with our pole setter.
All right, thanks to you guys. Ryan Wells, you're right where you want to be. You said you're feeling comfortable on the line. What is it going to take to come out in the first position and on top of the box?
Well, first off, you want to get a good start, obviously. All these guys are going to be hauling behind me, so yeah, just a good key start and make as few mistakes as possible, and I think that's what it's going to take for sure.
Good luck to you, Scotty and Chris. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. That is our pole setter right there. That's Ryan Wells. He doesn't sound like he's very excited. Sounds like he's cool, calm, and collected, ready to go. He's got the pole setter, and he's chosen, kind of second spot off the inside. That opens the door for Davis Fisher, the 67M.
Yeah, it does open the door for Fisher. We haven't seen too many hole shots from that position on the racetrack. Maybe he'll prove us wrong, but you got to remember Ryan Wells has been in this class a few years. He's a veteran. This isn't his first Peoria TT main event in this class. He's been running this class for a few years. He's comfortable. He knows what he's capable of, knows what he needs to do.
They're firing up the bikes right now. They'll give him 1 lap to check out the racetrack since we did some track maintenance. Up next will be our 25-lap GNC1 main event. But first, the up-and-comers get their chance to take home some victory here at the PMC. Fisher will lead them off on 1 lap. It's a sighting lap. Fisher, Wells, Janish, 51 of Fredrickson off the line. Track looks good.
Yeah, it does. Looks like they dug it up in turns 1 and 2. Put a little water down as Fisher airs it out off the jump on the warm-up lap.
His
running way offline. You can see for our folks at home the marks that he made way off, almost into the grass before the right-hander. It's probably good they got a sighting lap. I'd hate to see that happen right off the very first lap.
Yep, so we got 1 Australian out there. That is the 81P at Jace Castles. Everybody else from right here in the United States. 1 Suzuki, 1 Yamaha, 1 KTM, everybody else on Hondas. Fisher pulls up first. He takes the very inside row number 1. He's trying to get Fisher to scoot on over. Wells has that number 2 starting spot, but he actually had first pick, so he's trying to go back to the line that he already originally took off from. That's what Fisher's first one back. He went right where he wanted to go, but he did scoot over just a little bit. Little head games going out there. I'd like to see that.
A little bit, yeah. These guys all got a pretty good start. They got a good chance to see, all right, what's it going to be like? And every time you take a start from the line, you end up changing the characteristics of that starting spot. So if it felt good, sometimes you want to line up just a little bit to the right or left of it so you can repeat it.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our first main event, GNC2 mains on the track. 10-second board. It's down. We're watching the green light. Keep your eyes on the 32L Janish. 94B is our fast qualifier Wells, and our points leader 67M. And don't count out Hayden Gillum on 69. Justin Jones on 19. Light is green. They're off. Janish going to lead him into the first corner of the 32L. Here comes the Davis Fisher up the inside, 67M. Wells back there in the third spot. Now coming up the inside, taking third spot away, going up to the jump.
Going up the jump, these guys have been going off the jump. The front two, probably the best of this class all day long. Janish with a little more style, and certainly Davis Fisher a little bit more distance. So far, first lap, advantage Jesse Janish.
Fisher's right there in second. Here they come across the start-finish line. Wells in third, Hayden Gillum, Justin Jones, your top five across the start-finish line. Into the first corner, it's still Janish. Wells trying to hide the inside to go up the inside of Davis Fisher, and they close the door. 1, 2, and 3 over the jump. Look at Janish landing way down there on the infield part of the track, throwing up a bunch of dust.
Throwing up a bunch of dust, but that's the preferred line. You know, that's on the left side of the landing. It sets you up real good for the right-hander. Janish doing a great job getting through turns 3 and 4. He's going to need to be able to do that. This motorcycle that the Fisher kid is on is a good runner from the Parkinson Brothers team as he gets a good drive off turn 2.
Very impressive run from Fisher's hanging on to Jesse Janish. Remember, Janish, a former national number holder, and here's your leader. It's Janish. Fisher right there in the 2 spot. Wells is in third, top 3 trying to pull away. Hayden Gillum in fourth. Justin Jones still in the 5th spot. Janish looks over shoulder once again. I don't know if I'd be doing that quite yet. Here comes 67M, ladies and gentlemen. Our points leader goes to the lead.
Scoots it up in there. Janish gets back up underneath, coming off of turn 2. Good run around the outside there by Davis Fisher. Going off the jump. Oh, Fisher a little sideways. Janish a little stronger through this section of the racetrack. Retakes the lead around the outside. Fisher comes back up underneath.
What a race we have going on. Fisher on the 67, our points leader. Janish takes a look over his shoulder, says, is anybody else coming on through? And it doesn't look like it at this point right now. It's between Janish and Fisher. Fisher, our points leader, showing you what kind of determination he has to win this championship. Janish has to put his head down. He's in the roost from the 67M. Fisher getting sideways off the jump. Here comes Janish on the 32L.
Well, Janish is going to have to figure out a way to get back in front of him if he can. His spot where he's gaining time is from the landing off the jump all the way in through the middle of 3 and 4.
And Fisher,
everywhere else, Fisher seems to have some strength. So he's going to have to maintain a close gap to him, see if he can get a chance to make another run at him.
Fisher's very fast on the long front straightaway. Looks like he's got more motor right now than Jesse Janish. There's Wells back there in third, Gillum in fourth, and fifth is Justin Jones, Lau in sixth, Bronson Bauman, Jacob Lehman, Dan Bromley's up to ninth from the third row. Cole Fredrickson rounds out your top 10.
Up front here, little gap gain there with that lap by Jesse Janish. We'll see if he can continue to move on forward as he tries to stay on the rear of Davis Fisher. He has that lap. He's a little closer. From the time we land off the jump, we get it off into turn 3 through the right-hander, we see the gap being narrowed up by Jesse Janish. Whoa. Right back up onto the rear wheel of Davis Fisher.
Fisher made a mistake going in that corner, Chris.
And Fisher gets a good drive off forward. What? Janish keep looking back. I don't quite understand that.
He needs to focus on the rider in front of him.
He certainly does. But Jesse Janish maintaining, keeping Davis Fisher honest at the front. If another mistake comes, let's see if he's close enough to take advantage of it. As we run it off into 3, Janish gobbles the distance back up, going into 3. Coming off of 4, Janish goes a little wide. Halfway by this time.
Janish doesn't look back.
Doesn't look back. He's a lot closer going in. He's going to have to keep his head down, keep the pressure on, and force a mistake.
Still Davis Fisher out front, Jesse Janish in second, Ryan Wells, Hayden Gillum, Justin Jones. Now Bronson Bauman's in the 6th spot, Lau back to 7th, and Bromley is in 8th. And it's a good battle for the lead. Fisher makes another bobble going to that last corner.
They're hitting a little bump there on the inside of turn 3. Jesse Janish gets in there smooth, but doesn't quite have enough advantage down the front stretch. Going to have to figure out a way to take advantage of those mistakes.
The battle for 3rd and 4th is getting really tight too. Wells has it. Gillum's looking for it right now. Gillum on the 69C on the Suzuki's trying to apply pressure. Here comes Janish over the jump. Fisher gets sideways again. This is where Janish is faster. We've seen it lap after lap. Fisher slides wide.
Slides wide. That was the opportunity Janish was looking for. Wasn't quite close enough to take advantage of it.
Look at the motor down the straightaway of Fisher. Janish needs to get in for. Rider down on the jump. Everybody needs to watch out. The bike's right there in the way.
Got Lowry down going into the right-hander.
And the red flag is going to come out. Wow, that bike's right in the middle of harm's way, so the red flag's going to come out just past the halfway point. Jeffrey Lowry, the 23F, the rider going down. And that's not good news. It looks like the good thing is he's up, kind of walking it off a little bit. And
he's up and okay. Looks like essentially just slid the thing out on the landing. Kind of see the tire marks on the racetrack where the thing rear end probably came around as he got a little bit offline, landed a little bit too far to the right and a little bit sideways. So good to see Jeffrey Lowry picking his own motorcycle up.
Got his helmet off. He's checking things out. He thinks he might have had a flat. Maybe he thinks that might have been the reason he went down, but obviously that's not the case. He's checking out the front end, checking out the back end. He's supposed to work on the bike in the hot box. They're trying to get the bike off the racetrack, and
yeah, they'll do their best to get it over there, get a good look at it, see if he can have an opportunity to.
There goes our Kimco little UTVs rolling down the racetrack.
Yeah, we had somebody forgot the park and brake on the truck. There it goes again.
Yep, that's Joe Baggett trying to take care of it. Steve Moorhead, he kind of hopped out of it, wanted to check on the down rider, so make sure everything's okay, and we'll see what we can.
As we
here's a replay.
see
it did come around on
rear end came around, and bike was leaned over to the left. Rider was wanting to go right.
Lowry hung on to it as long as he could. A couple of riders went through the grass to avoid everything. That's Monaco on the 23Z, and then the 93F of Hunter Edwards. So getting Lowry checked out. If he can get that bike back to the hot box, hopefully we can work on it. And as soon as that track's ready to go, they're going to turn loose. He said, I need some help with the throttle. They're looking for the throttle cable, looking down right now that you can see Lowry. That's what I think that's what when you twist your wrist like that, I think that's what you're concerned in, right?
Yeah, that or my wrist hurts. I need to work it out here. I'm not sure.
Let's go trackside. Danny Medine is catching up to our leader. Let's go trackside.
All right, thanks you guys. Davis Fisher, is it harder to lead out here, or is it harder to make a pass for the lead?
Harder to make a pass for the lead, it seems like, but the way they have the corners now, it seems to be a little bit more racy. But leading the race is always the easiest thing because you're always judging off your own pace. You don't have no one else to race with. But I could hear him back there and just trying to put in some consistent laps, and we'll see if we can do it.
All right, good luck to you, Scotty and Chris. Back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. Davis Fisher's at the point right now. He's got Jesse Janish. This could be a break for Jesse Janish. You know, he's not racing with us all the time. He might not be ready for a long main event. And I did hear over the AMA Pro Radio that Jeffrey Lowry's bike is broken. It's not fixable, so his race is done. They're going to bring him up, and the leader right now, the 67M Davis Fisher, can either take outside or inside, and then they go a staggered start again. So Janish will have a good advantage, good spot right there, right behind him again. So he's going to have to apply the pressure early. Ryan Wells has a lot of pressure coming from the 69C of Hayden Gillum, shown in the 4th spot. Justin Jones 5th, Bronson Bauman 6th, Ben Lau 7th. Dan Bromley's up to 8th from the back row. Cole Fredrickson 9th, Jacob Lehman, last year's winner, back there in the 10th spot. The Australian in 11th, Jamison Miner 12th, Cole King. Jeffrey Lowry was in the 14th spot, so that moves Steven Sandoval to 14th. Morgan Mishler up to 15th, James Monaco, and Hunter Edwards back there in 17th. And Lowry is done for the afternoon. So tough break for him.
Tough break for him, but some of the guys that may have found themselves struggling a little bit now have a chance to kind of sit back and go, all right, what was I doing wrong? Why was I losing ground? This gives Jesse Janish an opportunity to kind of reset and formulate a plan, possibly to deal with Dashin Davis Fisher at the front, who did his best to dash away with the lead, but Janish kind of hung tough and calmed down a little bit and ran him back down, put himself in position. But certainly Fisher has an advantage down the front straightaway, the front part of the racetrack, and Janish has the advantage on the back half of the racetrack. In that case, advantage Davis Fisher.
And right now, they're nose to tail, just a little bit off. So Janish has one more shot at it. I believe there's 9 laps left. They revert back 1 lap. So I believe we're right at the halfway point. Haven't heard that officially just yet. But Fisher, Janish, Ryan Wells in 3rd. Gillum's right there, the road racer on the Suzuki. He's got JD Beach down there holding on to that throttle for him, make sure it's still working.
Yeah. JD Beach, good to see that he's decided to race today. Still suited up. Going to be in our main event.
He's a super sport champion of Moto America this year. Already wrapped up with a few rounds left, and he made a deal with the Yamaha Motor Corporation and his team he rides for that he said, hey, if I win the championship, I want to go race that Peoria TT. So he's here, and he's supporting the Team 95 rider, the 69C Hayden Gillum right there on our screen on that Suzuki. So.
Yeah, these guys do a lot of training at home. JD hangs out in the Owensboro, Kentucky area. Pretty pretty famous fast place for flat trackers over the last 15 years. And JD's kind of the odd man out, racing with the Haydens, and certainly Hayden Gillum as well, related to the Hayden
They
family.
just told the engines to fire back up, the bikes, the riders to fire up their engines, and we're going to turn them loose again. I believe we're at the halfway point right now from our first main event. This is the GNC2 class. Up next will be our 25-lap Grand National main event. GNC1s, they got to go 25 laps. These guys are only going 16. We only got 7 laps left, so we're just 1 lap past halfway.
Well, I noticed Davis Fisher wasn't breathing very hard in his interview. It's the kid's either in great shape, or it's the fact that he's 17 years old. I have a feeling it's a little bit of both. Knows what he needs to do.
And it's the first time he's been on this racetrack. It's pretty impressive from this young rider. He's an up-and-comer. Here we go.
Great start by Janish. Advantage Jesse Janish gets back to the front, going off into turn
Whoa.
1. Whoa, rider gets up into a bump. High side's going off into turn 1.
Tell which bike that
Not
might be.
sure.
There could be Wells on the 94.
Could be. I saw rear end come around and it kind of hit a hole and just kind of stop and spit him up over the top. As
The red flag is out. The bike's right there in the racing surface. They'll shut them down. There's red, the clear water lights all the way around the racetrack. So that's how these riders knew right away that the red light was out. Ronnie Jones is out there to check on our down rider. It is the 94B. Ryan Wells has been having a great weekend. Like I say, he took the win at Spoon River on Friday night, and he won the Galesburg short track last night, but not going to be his day today. If so, he's going to have to start the tail of the field if he's all right. A lot of pieces flew off the motorcycle.
That one spit him off the high side. Looked like the rear wheel came around real fast and then compressed real hard into a rut, kind of spit him up over the top of the thing. So unfortunate break for Ryan Wells. Hopefully he'll be able to get his breath back here and get back going. Kind of sitting a little sideways over here in between some of the hay bales down in turn 1. So hopefully he'll be able to make it back to the grid.
Kobe Carlisle's got the team shirt on. He was the rider that pushed him out onto the racetrack. And also out there is Joe Baggett from Racers for Christ, and our chaplain out there, Ray Rizzo from Motor Racing Outreach, are getting our down rider checked out right now. Hopefully he just lost his breath as he landed pretty hard on his back after he flipped up and over. So they're checking him out right now. I believe we might have a look at the replay here in just a second. Here it comes on the fanschoice.tv. Wells is back in there in the 4th, 5th spot. He gets the back wheel, and the front end dug in, and then he goes for a ride and lands hard on his back right here. So
yeah, might have got into the rear of one of the motorcycles in front of him with his front wheel, and sometimes that can cause you to go up over the high side too. That angle didn't quite show that, but tough break for Ryan Wells as they attend to him in turn 1. Gets a little swig of water, and hopefully he's got his breath back, and they'll get him up on his feet here in a minute.
While they're taking care of our down rider over there, let's go trackside with Danny Medine and Hayden Gillum.
All right, thanks, you guys. What's kind of cool about today is not only do we have one road racer here, we have 2. Hayden, you've done a couple rounds with us. Why do you choose to flat track outside of road racing?
Well, you know, it's where I started. You know, when I was 6 years old, I got my first dirt track bike, and you know, I've just been flat tracking my whole life, and it's kind of like the grassroots. You know, it's the reason why I even race, because it's just so much fun. And you know, the atmosphere here is so much different from road racing because it's really laid back, and you know, everybody's out to help everybody else, and you know, it's fun. All these guys are super fast too. It's so competitive, and you know, I just love coming out. And you know, I only get to do a couple races, but Peoria is definitely one that I want to do every year.
So why Peoria? Why this one? You're used to being on the ground and now you're catching air.
I don't know. I like jumping, and you know, it's an iconic raceway. You know, all the greats have raced here, and you know, someday hopefully I can, you know, be among the names of Carr and Graham and all those guys. So I don't know. It's an amazing place.
Now, when you're out here racing, you obviously have that racer's mentality. You come out here to do well, and what are your expectations?
You know, top 5 is where I want to be today. I'm on a stock bike that we just finished, and you know, we're just looking for top 5, but right now we were hunting for 3rd place, and hopefully we can get that.
All right, Scotty and Chris, back to you guys.
Thanks a lot, Danny. So tough break. We did see the 94B got up on both of his feet. So good to see Ryan Wells got on his feet, and he is all right, taking him back to the pit area, get everything checked out. So we're going to have another Staggered restart. I'm sure this isn't what Jesse Janish wanted to see because he had that last start figured out.
Yeah, the last time by, that was a great start from the 32L of Jesse Janish. Knew what he needed to do, got a good start, and I'm sure Davis Fisher's going to sit there and go, I got to do this one a little bit better this time. So
Fisher will be at the point again. Jesse Janish will start second. Now Hayden Gillum moves up to third. Also moving up is the 19B will be fourth is Justin Jones. Bronson Bauman now in the fifth spot. Sixth will be Ben Lau on the 20J. He's right up there almost on the racing groove. That's going to be a good starting spot for him. Behind Lau is Dan Bromley again from the back row. Now up to the seventh spot. Cole Fredrickson eighth. Jacob Lehman ninth. Jace Castle is the Australian rider in the 10th spot. Jameson Miner 11th. Cole King 12th. Jeffrey Lowry, the rider that went down, so he'll be near the back, so that hasn't reset yet. Steven Sandel will be up there in the 13th spot. Morgan Mischler, James Monaco, Hunter Edwards. Then we have Lowry, and if Ryan Wells can restart, looks like they're over there working on the bike, so maybe Lowry's going to try to make the restart. You cannot switch to a backup motorcycle. Remember, Lowry had the problem his day is done because I think he broke the throttle cable or something on the throttle of that motorcycle. So his day is done, so Wells trying to get that bike ready. If he is ready and he checks out, that bike's just about ready. We're going to go racing again here in Peoria. Up next, still the 25-lap Grand National main event will be up next, Chris.
yes, it will. I'm sure those guys are chomping at the bit to get out here and settle it once and for all for another year.
The track is ready. They're firing up the bikes. Looks like we might scratch the 94B. Yep, they're going to push Wells back into the yep, he's going back. The bike's going back to the pit race. So tough break for Ryan Wells. He will not complete the clean sweep of the weekend. So tough break for flying Ryan Wells from Albion, New York. Here we go. So we're down to 16 riders now for this restart. Again, GNC2 class, 7 laps to go. Fisher, Janish, Gillum, Jones, and Bauman, your top 5. Chris Carr, 7 laps to get it done.
Yeah, this is a sprint race. You know, they ran 8-lap heat races. This was started as a 16-lap main event with 7 to go. You're going to have to get off to a good start. Looks like much better start this time by our leader, Davis Fisher. Up the inside, Jesse Janish. As they go through turns 1 and 2. Good run by the 19B of Justin Jones. Doesn't quite get there in time.
And Bronson
Whoa,
Bauman.
and off to the
Now
right.
Janish is in the lead. It's
Janish
gonna be a
in the
race.
lead.
Jones goes off
Jones
the racetrack.
doing everything he can to keep on the racetrack as 54 Bromley comes from way back all the way up into fourth. These guys are beating and banging.
Off the final corners, Janish out front, Fisher in the 2 spot, Bronson Bauman up to 3rd. Here comes Fisher up the inside, taking the lead back over. Janish goes back up the inside. What a race we have for the lead. Oh, he almost lost the front end. Was Fisher up the jump to go. It's Janish, Fisher, and Bronson Bauman up to 3rd.
Bauman sees a little bit of red here, but we see Jesse Janish doing a great job on the backside of the straightaway. Opens up about a 4 or 5 bike length lead. Let's see if the 67 of Davis Fisher can run him back down. 5 laps to go. Janish doing what he needs to do. Gets into turn 1 first, and he's stronger on the second half of the racetrack.
Fisher, our points leader, will he be smart, settle in for second? Janish not up there contending for the championship. He knows that's just a few more points to finish ahead of him. Or will Fisher go for the win?
It's hard to say. You know, he's 17 years old. He wants to win. He wants to win in his first chance at the Peoria TT. We'll see what he does.
I don't know why Janish keeps looking back because that's not doing anything for him. Here comes Fisher applying the pressure through 1 and 2. Here is where Janish has been faster. Laps winding down, GNC2 main event. Janish leads him up the jump. Fisher's going to try to go up there with him. That might be a good thing too because Janish not quite as good Fisher's not quite as good over the jump. Now Fisher slips a little bit wide, so Janish gets a little bit more breathing room. Here they come up the final corner. Laps winding down. Janish again looks over his shoulder.
Yeah, good run there off of turn 4. Not quite close enough to make a run up the inside, but Jesse Janish getting through turns 3 and 4. Off the jump through 3 and 4. Janish looking all over. I can guarantee you Davis Fisher is there. No need to do that.
Exactly. 2 laps to go. Next time by, it's Janish out front, the 32L. Fisher's in the best spot right now. He's going to have a long straightaway to try to make a pass.
Good run by 67 coming off here with 2 laps to go. Let's see if he can run it up the inside. Not quite, doesn't quite get there.
But he's right there. Janish at the advantage, up the jump to go. How hard will Fisher hit the jump this time? Janish has been whipping it over the jump. Fisher's going to try to do it with him. Here they come. Last time by it was pretty close. They're very close again this time. White flag is going to come out this time. It's Janish, Fisher, and Bauman, 1, 2, and 3.
Good run coming off of turn 4. Fisher lights it up just a little bit, but he's got a strong motor here. Janish right in a defensive position off into turn 1. Fisher's going to have to get the thing turned. See, he turns underneath, see if he can get a good drive. Beat him to the jump.
Last lap.
Last lap, nearly side by side. Janish holds the spot. This is where he's been strong. Fisher's going to have to cut the best turn 3 and 4 he has all day long, have a chance to get him by the line. Oh,
Janish
little
gets
slip
sideways,
coming
so
off. They
does
both
Fisher.
get sideways.
Here they come
Good
to the
run,
line.
coming to the line. Oh, that's a close one. Looks like Jesse Janish pulls it off.
The rest of the riders coming across the finish line. We'll give you a full field rundown. Look at them all get sorted out across the finish line. Double checkered flags are in the air. Jesse Janish is pumped up, and he has just qualified for the Super Prestigio. According to Chris Carr, earlier comments today, your winner, the 32L former national number 45, Jesse Janish. 67M, Davis Fisher comes in second. Bronson Bauman will take the third spot. Justin Jones fourth. Hayden Gillum slides back to fifth. Dan Bromley from the back row all the way up to sixth. Jace Castles seventh. Ben Lau eighth. Jacob Lehman ninth. Morgan Mishler 10th. Colt King 11th. Jamison Miner 12th. 13th, Hunter Edwards. 14th, Cole Fredrickson. 15th, James Monaco. 16th, Steven Sandoval. Ryan Wells, a DNF. 17th, Jeffrey Lowry. 18th, another DNF for those two riders. But we're going to the victory lap's going to go to Jesse Janish, the 32L. He stops by the pit area to grab somebody. We do our podium for the two main events underneath the announcer's tower. It's a little bit different, but Janish is going to get the victory lap first, and then we'll have a victory podium. Man, how cool is that? Both riders had a strong suit on the racetrack, and it came down to a couple of mistakes, and Janish got back out front.
Well, it looked to me like a little bit of experience, even though Janish has been racing the circuit much the last couple of years. He is an older rider, a little bit more experienced than Davis Fisher, and certainly a great TT rider. That experience won this race today. Did what he needed to do, made the passes when he needed to make the passes, and was strong on the part of the racetrack that was important for him to get to the line first.
And you said earlier during our pre-show, you told Janish we had him in here, we had a feeling he was going to run strong, but now he just won this race and he has qualified for the American version of the Super Prestigio November the 21st in Las Vegas, Nevada. And he said he'll be there, he'll find a way to get there. He's got a full-time job up in Wisconsin for craft food. So now he is qualified for the Super Prestigio, and he has won here at Peoria.
Well, I believe on Monday morning when he's back at work, he's going to be putting in for vacation for Las Vegas the third weekend in November for the AMA Pro finale
at least
and Super Prestigio of the Americas.
For sure. So Janish gets to go on top of the box. He's got to find the victory podium here. He was here, like I said, he won here a month and a half ago or so when the Stars of Tomorrow were here, and now he's going to climb on top of the podium, and we're going to start our first main event podium. Danny Medine's up there, and we'll get that bike up. Jesse says, I'm going to put my bike up there, so we'll see how that works out. I don't believe it'll fit up there on the steps, but Danny Medine's down there. Our trophy girls are down there from Harley Davidson and from Vance Nines, and there's a nice ice-cold towel from the PMC Club, and get Janish on top of the podium, and I believe Danny's down there trackside, gets a nice kiss right there, and he'll climb on top of the box. Let's go trackside with our victory podium for the GNC2 class. Danny Medine, take it away.
I got to get up here, too. You guys make some noise for our AMA Pro 2 Peoria TT podium. I think you guys can do better than that. We can't even hear you over here. Jesse Janish, what a race. Take us through that. That was not an easy race to win.
No, not at all. Safe to say my experience helped me, but then my inexperience at the national level didn't. I was ridiculously nervous coming off of Ford, the last lap to say the least. Davis rode good, and really happy I was able to pull it off.
Who would you like to thank?
There's a lot of people here that helped me out. This Jeremy DeReuter, 34 Racing, this is his bike. Last year we raced it motocrossing. Mac Daddy Racing, George Mack, this is his motor. Unfortunately, we had a motor expire on the dyno last week, and George came through with us to give us a good horse for the day. Jake White from White's Construction, Ron from R3 Power Sports, West Bend Harley Davidson, Louie Jr. Those guys are the ones that dyno our bike for us, get it together. Everybody, Bellray, Cody Wolf, Cedar Creek Motorsports, my personal sponsors, Arai, Motion Pro, Everybody, the whole PMC crew. The track was definitely better than the heat race. It was getting a little bit more racy, almost too racy, because Davis almost got me back. So everybody for coming out, the fans especially. It's great to be able to race in front of a large crowd, and it's good to finally win at Peoria.
Awesome, congratulations. Peoria, make some noise one more time for Jesse Janish. Davis, I'm gonna step over to your side and try not to push you off over here, bud. Can you slide over? All right, Davis Fisher came up a little short. You still have to be pretty happy. That was not an easy race to win. Can you take me through that battle?
Yeah, I mean, Jesse has a lot of experience from here, and just to get second my first time here is pretty cool. I came up a little bit short, and maybe we'll put it on top of the box next year.
How much did the track change from earlier today until now?
It was a little bit more racy for the main. Got through 1 and 2 pretty good. I was trying to get it past Jesse before the jump, but his jumping skills got me.
You're staying in the lead in the points. Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, I think Parks & Brothers Racing, Bob Lanfears, Beaverton Honda, Danwall Racing, Allied Motors, Arai Helmets, Saddleman Seats, my mom and dad for everything they do, everyone else for coming out. Thanks.
All right, congratulations. I'm going to step on over to third place, Bronson Bauman. You have to be pretty happy with third place. Let me hop up next to you, make some room.
Yeah, get up in here.
Get up in here. How are you feeling right now?
You know, I want to go and do a couple more laps out there. This track never gets old. Yeah, the track definitely got a lot better in the main event, especially in 1 and 2. We got a nice cushion, and gotta love those cushions. So, you know, we pulled a wild card before the main event, and we jumped on the backup bike and ended up being the fast one. So, got to thank my dad for making that call. And you know, we almost bought the farm coming off the jump, and that's one of my favorite parts. But, you know, glad we rode it out, and this was my third time here and got on the podium twice now and with the third place this year, so can't be mad about it from the third row.
Awesome. Congratulations. Peoria, make some noise one more time for a GNC2 podium. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Danny. So that was the finishing order right there of GNC2. Jesse Janish taking the victory. Good to see him on top of the box. Davis Fisher second, and Bronson Bauman from deep in the field coming up to a third place finish. So we're going to take one more short break, ladies and gentlemen. It's not going to take very long. They are prepping the racetrack. We come back, the 25-lap Harley Davidson GNC1 presented by Vance & Hines main event. We'll be right back.
Special thanks to all of our sponsors for making this event happen. This is the Miller Lite AMA Pro Grand National Championship TT. We want to thank our primary event sponsor, Baumgarten Distributing Company, and their fine products, Miller Lite Beer and Lining Kugel's Summer Shandy. Always drink responsibly. Also, Caterpillar Inc., whose machines make it possible to prepare this beautiful racetrack. And right along with that, Altifer Wrench, our local cat rental store. Many thanks go out to Spectral Performance Oils, Cupie's Motor Mall in Beacon, Country Saloon in East Peoria, and the Shot Spot here in Bartonville. Please patronize these sponsors, all of which are fans of motorcycling and flat track racing.
Dude, look at that, perfect.
Don't forget the series moves on to Charlotte. Charlotte Motor Speedway coming up August 29th for round number 10. And then we go to the legendary Springfield Mile on Friday, September the 4th. They have got a Scott Parker golf outing. For more information on that, stop by behind the announcer's tower. They still have spots available if you want to golf with Scott Parker, Chris Carr, the stars of today, the stars of the past. Sign up now while you can. Afterwards, there is a party downtown Springfield, Illinois at Boone's Saloon. So stop by and get more information right behind the announcer's tower. Also coming up, September the 7th, there's a short track. Amateurs race during the day, and the pros race the short track Saturday night, September the 5th. And then the legendary Springfield Mile returns to Springfield, Illinois on the Fairgrounds Mile track September the 6th. And there's more information on that if you would like to get tickets in advance. The race is September the 6th, 1 p.m. For tickets, call 217-632-0277. They are there for you. Thanks to all of our folks for coming out here, donating money to the Jethro Albert Family Fund. We're going to see 69 out here just to roll this ad. Sammy Halbert will be riding the number 69 for the rest of the season for his brother, Jethro. So, podium finishing up. We'll put some more water on the racetrack. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, the 25 laps GNC1 main event. We'll be back.